dreamed of, where I can free my mind. I hear the sounds of the season and lose all sense of time. Feels like we're in a dream, you know what I mean.
Right there, Camp McIntosh.
Yes, you are, Mikey. It is Camp McIntosh, and it is CFN Live. Glad to have you folks along. It is an honor and a pleasure to be here every Monday to speak to you folks. And, you know, at the end of the day, if you are interested in coming up to Camp Mac, and perhaps maybe you've already reserved a spot, Andre and Tracy would really love those who have already reserved a spot at this year's retreat to pay up their deposits. So for all those who have booked a spot, that have confirmed that you're coming, deposits are required. So if you can, reach out and get a hold of Tracy and make sure that your deposits are paid. Obviously, same with Corwood Lake. If deposits haven't been made, by all means, please reach out to Warren and Doris and get that done. I have to talk to Warren because we're about a month out from our CFN retreat at Horwood Lake Lodge, and I will make sure that I double check that there are still 2 beds available at Horwood. I have heard rumors that it is now full, so we'll have to wait and see, but I know there's room at Camp McIntosh in September, so by all means, reach out to our good friends Andre and Tracy. Get yourself booked in a bed. Looking forward to both those, and of course, Camp Mac, that retreat is September 23rd to the 27th. Looking forward to having a whole bunch of CFNers there, and it should be a good time. Always, the fish always cooperate, and for all those who have been, you can attest. You can be my witnesses on that. Dean Howard, nice to have you along. I see that you're on YouTube tonight. Fantastic, buddy. Moving on up. Look at you go. Luke's in the house. How you doing, Luke? Fortunately, our good friend Lawrence isn't going to be with us. He's up at the research center, and you probably already know that. So we want to wish him well, and hopefully he's staying cool. But unfortunately, yeah, Lawrence couldn't make it last week because he had some already scheduled meetings that he had to take care of last week. And, of course, this week he's up at the research center. So we miss him, but we bid him a hello and hopefully safe travels. Lloyd's in the house. How you doing, Lloyd? It is 105 degrees out in Saskatchewan right now. Is it noon? Is it lunchtime? I'm just kidding. A couple hours ahead, but I will say you guys are dealing with some incredible weather in Saskatchewan and Alberta. The prairie provinces are getting hammered. And it's, Lloyd, it's all about extremes. Eh? I mean, if you guys aren't under 40 feet of snow, you're dealing with 40-degree temperatures and 140% humidity. There's no in between when it comes to the prairies. You're on one side of the extreme to the other. It's unbelievable. Steve Shaw's in the house. What can I say about this man? This man, it's so nice to see when he's out fishing that he actually gets out and enjoys himself on the water, because he does so much for this community and he does so much for myself and Walter and anybody else who is a CFNer. Couldn't do it without you, pal. And as I said, it's always a pleasure to see you getting out on the water. Steve's in the house. How you doing, Steven? Nice to have you along. It was a pleasure last week to have KBC and Aaron. Nice to have you along. I will say, looking forward to this Wednesday. We have the CHEO event that we're going to be discussing on the Power Hour. The CHEO event is coming up this Saturday at White Lake. Looking forward to that. We're going to be joining everybody that is a KBCer when it comes to that incredible event, and we're going to find out, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, how much they are going to raise this year. It's always a surprise, and it's always pretty darn exciting. How you doing, Erica? Nice to have you along. I am struggling these days, boy, oh boy. And I will say this, Steve, it might have a lot to do with the weather. This is unbearable. Like right now, next couple of days, I don't even know if the guys and gals are going to be working in this. And I was expecting to see a little bit more people in terms of an audience, a bit of an uptick, just because who wants to be out in that? Who enjoys that heat? not this fat guy. I'll tell you, I got a winter coat on. I can't seem to find the zipper. So I don't like being out in that heat, but all the power to those who do. Gary De Silva, how you doing, buddy? I want to congratulate Christian De Silva for coming first in the Island Lake Big Bass tournament. We are going to be dedicating an edit to him later tonight after the show. I got an edit I got to put together. So, Gary, thanks so much for that. And if you can give a high five to our good pal Christian, congratulations on that, my friend. Mark Wolf's in the house. How you doing, Mark? Great segue. Oh, there's a whole bunch of Joel's in the house. Nice to see you, Joel. Nice to have you along, my friend. Shane Richard. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Upcoming next. Ooh, Nipsey. Yeah, baby. So we just completed, as everybody knows, the Comprehend Conquer All Challenge. It went very, very well. We had 150 anglers plus involved. We almost hit 2,000 entries when it came to the designated species. And we gave these 5 incredible prizes away last Tuesday. So everybody that was announced a winner, and I will announce it again tonight, Alan Schwartz, Mark Wolf, Katie DeWitt, Preston Hendricks, and Jesse Hybrid. You are the winners of the 5 random Compre walleye rods. This Tuesday, which is tomorrow, we are going to be doing the random draw for the hero shots that anybody who showed their Shimano and posted on CFN Fish Off, the Facebook page, we got you covered. We got made sure that you qualified. So we're going to be doing that tomorrow, as well as the video draw. And the video draw was really cool because anybody who actually had a Compre rod, caught one of the species, entered a ballot, you're going to be drawn tomorrow randomly as well. So, as I said, we still got some prizes to give away. We still have some accolades to hand out. But as I said, the Comprehend Conquer All Challenge, all in all, was a huge success. And I want to thank everybody in CFN and all the anglers that participated in the Conquer All Challenge for making it the success it was. Thanks so much for that. And as I said, hopefully we're going to reward a couple more anglers as well as the kids prize. So there's a kids prize that we're going to be giving out tomorrow as well. Mike Consul will be joining me. We're looking forward to that. I also want to mention, as it is right now, the CFN app, we are honored and excited to have as many of you signed up to this app as we currently do. We'd love to have a lot more. And it's not just about, customer base or numbers. It has nothing to do with that other than the fact that we need to get the information out there. And as I said, the CFN app, as it is right now, and it's going to grow, it's going to evolve. But the CFN app right now is an educational piece for anybody who wants to a one-stop shop for the regulations. We are building exactly that. Right now, it is a very general, very broad overview of the regs. But here's the best part, is it takes you to the regs, whichever province or territory you're in the language of origin that you understand. So that is what the app does. It is basically your translator. So if you speak, let's say Hindu, let's say if you speak, how many different languages? Spanish. There's a whole bunch of them, but we're going to be adding them as we go and making sure that we cover as many languages as possible. But that is your liaison, your Walmart greeter to say, hey, listen, welcome. If you're looking to find out a little bit more in terms of the regulations that govern our fishing, our fish and our fish management programs, please sign on, share it. The key is to share it because it's a knowledge base app. This is all about spreading knowledge and making sure that everybody has the tools to pass on to those who don't know. And let's face it, there's a lot of them out there, right? There's a lot of folks out there that may claim that they don't understand the rules because they don't speak the language, this, that, and everything else. We want to take all that. We want to erase all that. We want to make sure that folks have the ability to get the regs, understand the regs, make sure that they follow the regs. Our fisheries are dependent on it. So there is the QR code. If you want to take a screenshot, if you want to upload it right now, all we need is your name and your email. That's it. We don't want any other personal information. Like some apps, they want your address, your phone number. No, we're not interested in any of that. We just want your email and your name so that we can reach back out and say, hey, thanks for downloading this. Thanks for being part of a group that says we want to pass on the knowledge. We want to pass on the know to those who don't have it. And again, thanks so much for those who have signed on. Really appreciate it. I believe we are well over 100 so far that have signed on. And of course, 90% of them are all UCFNers. So merci for being the kind of people you are. All righty. We've got our good buddy Big Jim coming up with a special guest in the backstage. And if you know anything about Coop, you're going to know a little bit more after tonight. We're looking forward to spending a little bit of time with Coop, having us learn a little bit more about BKK hooks. But in the meantime, let's wait for Big Jim. Jim's coming up right after this.
When he was born, he tried to reel in the umbilical cord. Bass named him as their personal best. His power pole came with a stripper. Forward-facing sonar uses him to find fish. Chuck Norris is his co-angler. He is the most interesting fisherman in the world. Stay fishing, my friends.
What's
There
going
he
on?
is, Big Jim. Yeah, baby. How you doing, pal?
Good, good. Busy day here, boy.
I can only
I
imagine.
told you earlier there. I did emails. I wrote an article. I for somebody. I there was 12 hours. I was back here from 5:30 in the morning. So
It's a
I hope the
productive day
bass
for
gods
Big
are good to me tonight out back if I go out.
Jim.
They've been laughing at me. Hey, are you
Well, I
allowed
was
to
just going to ask you, what's it been like out back these days?
It's been horrid.
Yeah.
Yeah, the boys are going to put the demo in probably tomorrow night or Wednesday night.
Okay.
So that'll be good. We'll have the boat there. We'll have to try to get out and get away from it. But it's just so clogged in. That's what I was telling you there. It was I was telling the guys before we went on air. I'm out there last night and I've got like the mat. You can't like the mat's like it's stupid. I could walk on it. Scotty probably could. The two of us could. So you can picture what the mat's like. Hey, I'm out there and I'm using one of Hiroshi's frogs. And like the frog's sitting in the water like this, and all I can see is this. Like it's glass calm, eh? And the frog he's actually under it after blowing up on it, and he's just or she is just bumping it, just giving it a little bump, and it's turning in the water back. I got a total slack line, just letting it do its thing. It's bumping like this, bumping, and then all of a sudden, because of the dollar pads there, all of a sudden you see that the water sort of just go like this up around it. It took a little swing at it, and you see the dollar pads all part come back in, and then it moved the frog over a little bit, and then all of a sudden it decided to take a whack at it, and it hit the heavy part of the pat or the mat that it was right beside, and it punched the frog about this far out of the water in the air. It was so funny to see it. Well, it wasn't, but
what you're describing is what I would consider a very smart fish. We see this all the time because we share videos back and forth about the orcas and how smart they are at making sure that they get the seal or whatever it is that is trying to evade them off the iceberg or the ice flat or whatever the heck it is that they're trying to hide on. Are you trying to tell me that a largemouth bass, which has a brain this big, is able to figure out that if it pushes the lily pad just enough, it's able to get that frog off?
I think he was trying to find out where it was. I think he was trying to get it to move. He knew it was there, and he didn't know. Maybe I don't know. Don't ever compare a largemouth to an orca.
Jim, I'm going to write this date down. It is July 13th at 7:20. Jim said fish are smart.
No.
That's awesome, pal. Well, the new issue is out. A lot of folks are excited about it. I'm sure you are as well.
Got the boss man on the front cover with his new main squeeze. Al lost his wife a couple of years back, and
Yes.
he had a wonderful lady come into his life, and this is them. And when I saw this picture, I told Dave Sanda, who used to work for the Inn Fisherman, who sent it over to me. He said, I said to him, I said, buddy, that's going on the front page. And we got it there. Yeah, we got an article by Al. It's all about cranking largemouth in the middle of the summertime, which was what I did. It was my game. So as soon as I saw that, I said, boy, that's going front and center in just fishing it, and it is. But it's great to see Al, looking so good, and I'm out there catching some nice big fish.
100%. And, happy. Let's face it. When you lose your soulmate like that, it's hard to get back up on the horse.
Yep.
And I will say, what a horse that is that she's holding, and a donkey that Al himself is holding. But it's nice to see the smiles. It's nice to see the joy. It's awesome. That's
Yep.
That's
So cool.
good stuff.
Yeah, we got lots of good stuff in the issue. We got a lot of the regular stuff. We got the Vanity Boys. Gussie's in there talking minnow baits. You can see in the bottom left corner, that's Colin Stass.
Yep.
We got him on talking about smallmouth. I haven't had a chance to message him yet because he just went live like at 4:00. So he probably doesn't know yet. So it would be cool if he was watching to see it, that he even got on the cover. And we got from the Kawarthas there from the Curve Lake Reservation, we got Mike Williams on into
Nice.
talking about jigging for walleyes in the Kawarthas, which is big time. So if you go to the Kawarthas and you don't have a bucktail jig, you probably shouldn't be there. It's that kind of thing. Like,
No, true enough.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. True enough. Well, as I said, with that, of course, we are looking forward to leafing through the new edition. Obviously, Colin Stass, you always have beauties in your magazine. Colin Stass is just one of those gentlemen that is just top shelf. What a great individual.
well, a lot of people don't realize, Scotty, when I won they called it the first Canadian Championship.
Mhm.
And when I won the first boat and all the stuff and everything else on the Big Rideau here, they don't realize that the year before, Colin Stass, they did the same thing, and Colin Stass won it. Like, they gave him a bag with one hockey puck in it and a rod and reel and sent him home. It was like that. It broke my heart that, it was a little more than that. I'm being very facetious, but going from what it went to being giving away a boat and $5,000 or whatever it was. And he was the first Canadian champion when they held an actual event and named it that. The second one was actually the Big Rideau, but it went from being like a bunch of guys at a lake to being televised on CTV. They had Ernie Afghani's there running around. Remember that?
No way. Wow.
Yeah, he was running around doing interviews. That's where they had the piece of tape where he pulls up on me, and I just got to a spot. And I stood up and I sort of waved. I asked him to stay back because I wanted to fish this point, And I went in there and I had a little man stingray grub, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. And he backed and they filmed it. I make one cast and I get a bite, and it's like a 4.5 pound largemouth. And in a tournament where 3 days, 39 pounds won, that was a really important fish. And he says something about, I'm leaning over the front of the boat and I grabbed the fish, and he says on the thing, hey, and Big Jim scoops another one like a hungry bear. No guff. We've got that on the tape.
Like a hungry
Oh my
bear.
God.
That is so classic.
Yeah.
Well, from one gem to another, we are honored to have a special guest on here tonight. And without further ado, we might as well get right to our good friend Cooper Gallant. Before we do, let us take a look at one of the reasons he is here to discuss with us BKK.
Uh-oh.
Let me get there it is right there. Okay. Perfect.
So you've heard me talk about this hook before. It's the BKK heavy cover flipping hook. And ever since it came out, it's been my go-to when I'm flipping, punching. We've caught some big ones on it. A couple years back during practice for an Elite Series tournament, caught an 8-pounder flipping a mat. BKK heavy cover flipping hook. Straightener, yeah.
What a fish. Oh,
And this past year, I was in Florida with my buddy Blake Caps fishing a tournament. He boat flipped an 8.5 pounder.
oh.
I mean, this thing's strong. It's got the super slide coating, so it penetrates really easily. And one thing I feel like that's quite often overlooked is the barb. The barb's not too big. It's not too small. It keeps them pinned. It's got an epoxied eyelet, which is super important. In every high quality hook, you definitely want an epoxied eyelet. And then the bait keeper. Again, it's epoxied, keeps your bait on there good. Just an overall strong hook. You can yank big ones out of heavy cover, and just a really unique bend on it too. super sticky sharp, but that is by far my favorite flipping hook. Anytime I'm in Florida, anywhere I am flipping for big largemouth, that's my go-to hook. So you've heard me
Right on.
What's up, boys?
There he
What's
is.
going on from one good hook to another? There he is, the one and only Cooper Gallant. How you doing, Coop?
Good, boys. How have you been? Feels like it's been a while since we've chatted.
I was gonna say, like, Jim and I are, past our prime. You've probably hit puberty. You're old enough to vote now. No, but you're right. It seems like it's been a while. I will say this: you aged nicely, and Big Jim and I are taking notes tonight. How do you do it? The fountain of youth. Where do you get it from?
I don't know, Scotty. Time on the water, I guess, because that's all I do. So maybe that's what it is. Who knows?
I will say this too, and I got to ask, when we're dealing with the kind of heat that we're dealing with today, and I'm not sure where in the country you are, you're down in the States, but when it comes to the heat and you're out in the water, what do you do to survive long days like this where it's 95 degrees and 95% humidity?
Yeah, like it kills you big time. Even if when it's not that hot and you're out on the water for 12 days, it kills you. And then you put the heat into it, and it's like, it's a whole nother level. But the number one thing, obviously, is water. Growing up fishing, like, I didn't drink much water at all. And actually, one year, it was my New Year's resolution. I'm like, I'm going to start drinking more water. And ever since I started doing that, just slugging water on the boat, like, it makes you feel way better. So water is definitely number one. Drink as much water as you can. And then just, wear the right clothing, sun buff if you need to, and the right sunglasses, and you're good to go. And just try not to think about it too much. The more you think about it, the more it kills you.
True enough. So true. Well, I have you two incredible sticks here tonight to talk about something that a lot of our anglers know a little bit about, but would like to know a little bit more about. And that, of course, is the incredible craze that BKK hooks has started here in Canada. Big Jim has told us for a number of years now how popular of a hook they are, how long they've been out there, and how good they are. We're going to learn a little bit more about your go-to hooks, what you guys like from BKK, and of course, as two pro staffers and heavily sponsored by BKK, we're going to let you guys take it from there.
Yeah.
What are we talking about, Jim?
Right now the big deal is prickly pears and all these other, the amoebas, and where have I got? Like, if you haven't seen them, I got some of Peter's kicking around there. These things here, I've been in this forever. This makes the Senko look like a joke for how big it's, how the way it blew up. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. I didn't need that one, but it's one of those things. It's one of those things that you just you look at it and you go, yeah, okay, like it's not gonna. But I mean, I heard guys talking. I saw an interview with I think it was Lee Livesey, and he was talking, and one of the guys came over to him and he said he saw one of those rigged in his boat, and he said he had 5 or 6 rods on one side and one of those on the other side. And the guy looked at him. I forget who it was. It was it could have been Cooper for all I know. But one of the guys said back or said to him, he looks at him and he says, boy, any cast you take this weekend with one of those is a waste of time. And he pointed at the other 5 rods. And he told that story. And I thought to myself, yeah, this is going places. This is going to be, and this is just when it was happening. Like after Chris won and they watched everybody, everybody watched them win. And then I talked to Chris, and I think I told you like a couple of weeks ago, people said, yeah, he didn't seem to be getting really under the docks and around him, and he was fishing the edges. And Chris told me he was the last one he had in the boat. If he lost it, he was screwed. So he wasn't throwing it under the docks. He was fishing around the edge, and he's watching 5-pound fish without needed. Like,
that's incredible.
It's a pretty unbelievable bait. And I'll be honest with you guys, like, I'm late to the train with the whole urchin style bait thing. Like, I've maybe caught 50 bass on it in my life now. And, it's been out for quite a few years, actually. And the last couple of years, it's been pretty big. There's been a lot of people that have realized that of how good it is. But when Chris won without live scope, that's when it really took off. Because, like, in the past, it was like kind of like a scope bait. And then when people found out, like, it's not just a scope bait, like you can just throw this thing around and catch bass. Like, you don't need live scope. Like, the drawing power of this bait just gets bites. And leading in the whole BKK thing, the hardest part has been, the hardest thing to do with these baits is finding the right way to rig it. And again, I'm just talking from my experience over the last few months using it. I'm no expert by any means, but it's definitely the hardest part is to find like how to rig it, because there's so many different ways to rig it, and like it hasn't been around that long. So like, what is the best way to rig it? And everyone at BKK has come out with all of their ideas. We put it into one, and the quad hook is the deal. I mean, you've got 4 hook points, better hookup ratio, and yeah. So BKK's got something special coming out. They got a new quad hook coming out, and what's so unique about it is there's a few different features. Obviously, the hook itself, the barbs, super sticky sharp, but the actual whole system that's built into this bait. So you have these 2 steel wires come down that go in to the koiki, and then you bend them out. So what that does is keeps your koiki on there. And koikis aren't cheap. Right now, they're super hard to get. So BKK has come up with a way to not only save more baits, but to also have the best hookup ratio by having that hook directly on top of the bait, right? So no hook is going into the bait. That hook's just resting on top of the bait, because those 2 steel pins go through the bait, bend out, and then keep that bait pushed up against the bottom of all 4 treble hooks. And then to add on to that, the swivel that's built into the eyelid of the hook. And what that swivel is going to do, it's not going to twist your line. When you hook a fish, you're not going to lose as many fish, because when that fish tosses and turns and jumps, that swivel is just turning. And so that fish it's not getting as much leverage, because sometimes the treble hooks like are scary because they work against each other. And then you'll have one come out, and the next thing you know, they're both out. But with having that swivel at the top of the hook shank, allows that hook to just stay penetrated and prevent that leverage of all 4 of those trebles from working against each other. So it's pretty dialed. We got a pretty good crew at BKK. We got some sticks over there, and like I said, there's some guys on the team who have been using it and have much more experience with this technique than I do, and as a team, I think they've nailed it, and you guys are going to see it very soon. It's definitely the deal for sure.
That's awesome. Awesome to hear. And I have to ask, Coop, you talk about it being a scope bait, that and we've been trying to wrestle with the whole idea of what is it trying to mimic in the forage base. Is it a school of small little bass? Is it a dock spider? When you say a scope bait, was it something that you threw just to get an idea of making sure that you knew what your distance was, so that you were casting it where you wanted to? And did all of a sudden a fish hit it, and the light went on and said, wait a minute, this is more than just a scope bait. This is actually going to catch fish. Like, I'm so intrigued to find out who was the first one to catch something on this that turned it into the craze that it is.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see who actually was like the first one to come up with this idea. As far as like what it mimics and like what it represents in the water, I personally, like, if I were to say something, I would say like a school of bait fish, right? It makes sense. Like, you see this, a bunch of little, it looks like a little school of bait fish, but I don't think they eat it because they think it's a school of bait fish. I think they eat it just because it moves water, it draws their attention, and they eat it because they haven't really seen it. You know what I mean? It's just,
100%.
there hasn't been a bait that's come out that's just had such a huge drawing power. Like, it just moves so much water. It looks different. Again, it's something they've never seen. And so I think they eat it just because it's different and it moves water, and it's like when the Alabama rig came out. Like, they never saw a lure that had 5, 6, 7, 8 different swim baits on it, right?
True enough.
And it was the deal back in the day. And right now, these urchin style baits are like the Alabama rig, several years ago. It really is. And but no, I just think it's something different, and it just really draws them in, and they're very curious. Fish are curious.
Amen to that. Jim, is there a particular hook that we wanted to talk about? I know I've uploaded and I'm going to share the catalog. There is an incredible amount of stuff available at PKK, no matter what your presentation is, no matter what you're using. But some of the featured products they have just on their website, I don't know if that's what you want to cover or talk about, because I don't know where to begin.
You know, Scotty, you've heard me talk so often. When I got the day that I got this, I pretty near died. And one of the things that, like when I got, and this is a couple of years old now, and I looked at it and I thought to myself, wow, there's everything. If I need to replace a hook, I don't want to be replacing the hook in a boat. I mean, I fun fish now. If I want to replace a hook, I take the time to replace a hook on a lure. You know what I mean? It's that kind of a thing. There's not a panic anymore. But I think I mentioned to you, like, remember where I was joking last week, showing you like fishing a big tube with a Senko out the back, and the whole thing weighs about a half a pound, so you didn't need a sinker, shallow water.
Yeah.
When I first got the idea to do this, to try it out the back, I went through the box, trying all the different hooks, and I'd look at it and go, okay, it's got to be a 5/0. So I took out the round bend right off the bat, tried it, and I thought, no, it's not wide enough. So I went to a wide gap, and then I went to a 5/0, and then I realized that I actually had 6/0 in here, and that was the perfect hook. And I've been looking at, I've been playing around with a lot of plastics the last couple of years, trying to support a lot of the smaller guys here, like like Limestone and Wham and oh geez, I'm forgetting somebody, but all the guys out there, I've been trying to. And when I get baits from them, I mean, I'm sitting here and I pull out a bag of baits and I go, geez, I just like when Jeff Dix was doing his frog, he came by, and what did I do? I pulled out the box.
Yeah.
We went through all the hooks to find the one that we thought we should use, and we found one that fit perfect. And they're right at your hand, and that's something that I really liked. And the other thing is, like, I mean, Cooper mentioned, you take any of these hooks, hold them in your hand and try to bend them. Even like the drop shot hooks, they're solid. And I went through. I had the other box here from my tournament days. It had like 150 packs of different hooks in it. And I'd take them and I'd pull on them and they'd bend and they would twist and other things like that. And I got out the magnifying glass Tammy has, when she used to have to do small things with the paper before. And I'm looking at the eyes of the hooks, and I get a package of the hooks out, and I'd put all 5 hooks or 6 hooks out on the desk, and I'd look at the eyes, and they're all different. They're all like not bad different. They're still good hooks. It's what we used to use, but. I'd look at the points, and Coop mentioned the barb, and I'd look at the barbs, and the barbs were all different. Yeah, almost every barb was different. These are hooks that were like, they used to be like $4.99 a bag. They're like $8.99 a bag now. And I'm looking at it, and the barbs are all like, they're on angles, and you can see marks in the metal, and it wasn't like that. And I got the box out, and I put a bunch out on the table here. This is a couple of years ago, and I'm looking at it, and I'm playing with them, and I got some out. I'm looking, well, that's the same, that's the same, that's the same, that's the same. And it was like that through the whole box. And this is when I spoke with Chuck at Gagnon's a couple of years ago when his dad was there. And I had told Chuck about doing this. And I see him conversing to his dad in their language. And I see Chuck go like this, so I know he's telling them about what I had done with the magnifying glass. And that's when they showed me the movie of the hooks being produced, that little machine that you've probably seen it. It's really cool. And it's got all the things. And he said, you can't have a bad hook go in the box. Bingo, I'm in.
100%.
Coop,
you showed in that video that we shared, a buddy of yours that you were fishing with that, boat flipped an 8-pound bass. It actually looked bigger than 8 pounds, but the simple fact that, there's no thought about doing something like that with these hooks, just based on the strength alone. But has there been an aha moment with you where, it's really cool to be sponsored by a great company, but where these hooks, that it was entrenched, like there's no way I'm using another hook because of an experience that you went through where the strength of these hooks was shown to you?
Like with another brand? Yeah, absolutely. Hooks is like, at the end of the day, like, you have a bad hook, you ain't getting that fish in the boat. You know what I mean? And like for me, like, yeah, I mean, like me and BKK, like I've been using the hooks now for several years, and it's like, it's the hook. That's the hook I want to run. If I'm tying on a flipping hook and I'm flipping, I'm punching mats, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. If I'm flipping, I'm throwing that heavy cover flipping hook. So I don't bend it out. It's sharp. They're consistent. It's got a good barb on it. Everything about it I just love. And it's like, there's no part of me that thinks it's going to fail, like when I'm fishing, right? And you need to have that confidence, right? In whatever hook you're throwing. And I do with BKK. And that all comes from, you know, the team, like who BKK is working with. They paid so much attention to detail with the hooks. Like, there's an issue, we try and fix it. Like, we want it to be the best, right? So we're gonna do everything we can to change things, make it better, and just everything about, and like even with the new products, which I'm sure we're gonna talk about here shortly. Like, we've been talking about it for the last several months to try and dial this stuff in, and we're not just gonna put something out there unless we know it's dialed. And that's just BKK. They do it right, and I love working with them. It's been great. And speaking of new stuff, there is some great stuff coming out at ICAST this week. We were just talking about the box, Big Jim. We got some. I got to be careful. I got to remember what I can and can't talk about. But one thing
I was going to
can
say,
yeah. Yeah. But like the one new thing I can talk about is there's a couple different hooks I can talk about. Obviously the quad hook, that's new. It's going to be out shortly in stores. The weedless wacky Nico. A Nico rig is deadly no matter where you're at in the country, Canada, the States, smallmouth, largemouth, spotted bass. And that hook is awesome. It's awesome. Everything from the bend of the actual hook, the gap, the barb, the weed guard, the epoxied eyelet, like everything about it is just premium quality. Another one are the new treble hooks. I don't know if you have any there with you, Big Jim. Yeah, like it's a pretty looking hook. It's got about 6 strands of fluorocarbon on there, and it's like there's a fine line between having a weed guard that's too stiff and too soft, right? You want your Nico rig to be able to be fished through, you know, brush, rock, flip it under docks, and you want it to rub up against that structure but not get hung up. So you want a weed guard, again, that's not too stiff or not too soft, right? And they nailed it with the weed guard. Like, it's perfect. You can drag it through anything. And again, just between the sticky sharp hook, the quality of the hook, it's not going to bend out. And again, the epoxied eyelet and everything like that, it's the deal. But yeah, like if you guys are watching, stay tuned. You're going to see a lot of stuff being talked about over the next couple weeks for sure. New stuff from BKK, and it's pretty awesome. We do have a new box. I can't talk about the new box. So it's basically the OCD box, but it's a small, which is awesome because like the big box is great. Like, so you can fit everything in it. But the little box allows you to like have your, you know, your drop shot box, your heavy cover box, your, you know what I mean? Whatever you want. If you like fishing ponds and you just want to take a little tackle box, if you're a co-angler, you can take this little small OCD box, yet you can still fit so much in there. Like, you can fit tons, Big Jim? Like, and it's small.
I have one I keep there down the back. When I go down the back in the evenings here, I have one that's behind the seat in the truck.
Yeah.
It's just got a few nuts, a few frogs, a few hooks, you know, whatever. It's just, it makes it too easy. It goes in the truck when the bass season opens, and it comes out in the fall when I clean the truck out.
Yep.
That's amazing. As cool as it is to be sponsored by a great company like this, Coop, I admire the fact that you're at a stage in your career where you're already helping develop new products, that you're already tweaking products that they already have to make them even bigger. That's got to be exciting. You got to enjoy that part of it as well, eh?
Yeah, for sure. Being part of the team and having some input, it's fun for sure. Like, I enjoy it. Absolutely.
Steve is asking a question when it comes to spinner baits. Are you guys typically using a trailer hook on your spinner baits? And if so, is there a style of BKK that you'd recommend?
Yeah, we do have a BKK trailer hook. It really all depends on like where I'm fishing that bait, right? So if I'm fishing in like some crazy cover, I try and get away with just a single hook, just because you're not going to get hung up as much and stuff. I'm fishing like open water smallmouth, I'll try and throw a trailer hook on there, and it depends on how they're eating it. If they're like choking it, I won't throw a trailer hook because I don't want them to get tongue hooked and things like that. It really, for me, is 50-50. There's a time and place. To be completely honest, I don't throw a spinner bait that much. So, but there definitely are some fisheries that we fish throughout the season, especially the river fisheries, that you're always going to have a spinner bait tied on for sure. And again, it depends on the trailer you put on it, right? Like, it really all depends, but it's about 50-50 for me.
Right on. Jim, you the same?
Yeah, probably pretty well. I mean, when I fished spinnerbaits a lot, it was the same thing. It was usually, over the top of shallow milfoil, stuff like that. So I generally had the feeling that I was going to start, instead of saying, geez, I just missed the fish, I'm going to put on a trailer hook. I just put the trailer hook on. It was that
Makes
kind
sense.
of thing. In fact, you go ahead. I'm going to show you something really cool, Scotty. You go ahead there for a second.
So, Coop, I got to ask, whereabouts in North America are you currently right now, and what tournament are you getting ready for?
So right now I am in Clayton, New York. I've been on the St. Lawrence River for a while. I think I put about 109 hours on my Mercury since I've been here. As many of you guys know, I haven't caught them this year. It's been a rough one for me. It's been frustrating, but it's one of those things you just gotta fish your way out of it. And I've been saying that all year, and I still haven't fished my way out of it. But my mind's still good. Like, I feel good. Everything's good. Just got to keep going and just not let it get to you. That's the biggest thing in fishing, is it's such a mental game. And the second your mind starts beating you, you're done. You might as well not even show up. So you got to stay sharp, stay fishing, and just keep a positive mindset.
And Coop, I have to say, I really admire the fact that you have been so transparent in regards to that. And of course, it wasn't really something I wanted to talk about, because I don't know how anglers, you are athletes, in my opinion, just because of the grind that you go through to get to, the glory. But as an athlete, you don't really necessarily want to talk about the negative, because you're always trying to stay mindset in a positive manner. But what helps you get through those valleys, in hopes that you're going to climb a hill someday?
Yeah, you just, honestly, Scotty, just keep fishing.
Yeah.
Just keep fishing. That's it.
Attaboy.
Keep fishing and just forget about the past, forget about the bad ones, and keep moving forward.
Good for you.
Like right now, my mind's set on the northern events. I went to Champlain for 4 days, did some pre-practice in there, but I'm spending like as much time as I can on the St. Lawrence. I've been here for 2 weeks now. I'm going to fly out to ICAST tomorrow just for the day. Then I'm coming back, and I'm going to be here for another week and a half. So I'm spending time out here. In order to win the Classic, in order to fish the Classic, I need to win the St. Lawrence River. So hopefully we can do that and make a good story out of it and change this disaster of a year into the best year yet. And hopefully we can bring a blue one home. But right now I'm just laser focused on the St. Lawrence River, 100%.
Well said, pal. Well said. Jim, did you figure out, or did you find what
you heard me talking about the big purge out of the garage in the last year or two?
Yes.
And I remember we talked about these once before. I found a box.
Oh, yeah.
All the old Stanley Viper shafts, and see, they all have a trailer hook on the back.
Yeah.
Shirts long time fell off. The hooks are rusted, but that is exactly the way Rocky and I fished it. It looked right like that.
Nice.
And we got a tip from somebody once. See the way the trailer hook, I've got the eye bent like that to keep the trailer hook up a bit more. I put all these hooks in a vise and just bent them just a little bit with a pair of vice grips holding them together. Like we were just nuts. And always had guys that used to tell us you had to have huge gap here. And then we bumped into a guy on the one of the first times we ever fished on the St. Lawrence in Chippewa Bay. And we were talking to him, and he said to us, don't have your spinner bait way out like that. Have it bent in like this. You'll catch more fish. And that's why they're all bent in. We never changed. Well, because like we didn't see any more fish. But that just goes to show, like what a big part these things were in Rocky and I's life. There's 7 or 8 of them in here, and I found them all in the box. The skirts were all in tangled ball, and it's one of those little things. This is from like 40 years ago, and that's just the really cool thing. I'm happy I've got things like this. Yours are coming, Cooper. Yours are coming.
Yeah. I love it. I love seeing that, the older baits, and that's awesome.
Yeah,
I
and
love how you still have it all too.
Oh, here we go.
We won all the tournaments on the Ottawa River with the buzz baits, the Bill Nolan wings. You can see how look, they got no paint, and we fished them. Everybody told us you had to have a trailer hook on a buzz bait.
Wow.
I shortened up the wires when we got them, and we bent them way out. We fished them with it bent way out like that, and we never had a problem with it. But those baits, those were the ones when they first came out. Remember when they told guys you had to duct tape them to the mirror when you drove and get them to spin for like a maniac? And Jim Bitter told me that one day, and we did it, and we started listening to them, and they're going in the water. They were completely different.
Yeah,
everyone we had was like that. Eh? It was really, really cool.
What cuties you are. Jeremy's
A
asking.
lot of money with those.
Not often we get a question about knots, but if you are straight flipping and you're using a straight flipping hook, what knot do you typically tie, Coop and Big Jim?
So for me, I've messed with the Snell knot a little bit, but I just tie a polymer, to be completely honest with you. And like you hear it like, oh, polymers. I hear all the time like, oh, don't tie a polymer with fluorocarbon. But I've been doing it my whole life, and I've never had an issue. Like, it's easy, it's quick. Straight polymer for pretty well everything. Attaching any bait to my line, and I've never had an issue. So yeah, flipping like heavy cover with that BKK heavy cover flipping hook, polymer.
Palmer, Jim, would you be the same?
Exactly the same. And I the last couple of years I tried messing with the Snell, and I haven't broken it. I mean, I don't get out and fish as much as I used to or whatever, and I haven't broken it. But we're also using, we used the pallet Barnucz when I fished way back when with mono, and we never broke the line. We never broke the knot. We don't do it now. So like Cooper said, it's, it's going to break. You're breaking it with braid. Like, I mean, I've seen so many guys bust stuff up because of braid. You see them out there and they're fishing something, the hook's set in the boat, and you look at them and go, what the hell? You're fishing with braid, like, settle down. Like, it's the hook's there, trust me.
Yeah, no stretch.
Quinn's in the house, and he's got lots to say, some of which I can post, some of it I can't. You might have to go through and read some of the comments. We don't want to keep any longer than we already have, Coop, but I want to say, as I said, it is always an honor to have you here on live. You've been here many, many times, regardless of how much space there is between you being here. It feels like you were here just yesterday. But I want to wish you all the best, because someone like myself, who was never a tournament angler but an athlete, I certainly understand what you're going through, and I really admire, as I said, how much of an open book you've been. It has been a struggle, which you have mentioned and you have shared. Not most athletes I know wouldn't, unless forced to in front of a mic. But you've been very outspoken about it, and I will say, let's hope that the fish cooperate. Hopefully, this breaks your streak coming on live. You've turned the corner, and somehow, some way, Jim and I have rubbed off some good luck to you.
Perfect. Yeah, hopefully we can get her done this year, boys. We got two more. We're laser focused, and we'll see what happens. But I'm looking forward to getting back to work and catching some brown ones up north. But no, thank you, Scotty. Thank you, Big Jim. I always enjoy coming on here, and appreciate it big time. Hi, everyone back home, and we'll see you soon. Hopefully, we'll hop on with you. Hopefully, we can bring a blue one home and hop on with you shortly after that.
That's what we're talking about. Absolutely, Jim. You got the last word, buddy.
Hey, buddy, I still remember all those days back in the beginning when I got to know you, and I even mentioned to Tammy here one day, because I had mentioned to her about you're having a little bit of a trouble this year. The fish were snubbing you and whatever, and I mentioned that to her, right? And we're just talking about it. So she says to me, "Oh, I remember him. He was so cute. He'll be okay." And you will be. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, pal.
Yeah, just got to keep looking up.
I love you, buddy.
Absolutely.
Thanks, boys. Appreciate it big time.
You get at it.
All the best, and we wish you well. Jim, thanks so much for setting this up. Coop, for spending some time with us. We got Jay Barnucz coming up right after a word from his sponsor.
Awesome. Tell Jay I say hi.
What if there was a line that made you feel like you were fishing without it? Invisible. No memory. No stretch. No tangles. No equals. Soft, supple, and fishable. Effortless in motion. And the final destination of a 50-year journey by chemists, engineers, and anglers nationwide. Introducing Gin Clear from Berkeley Labs. The molecular mastery of fluorocarbon, scientifically engineered, American manufactured with unrivaled precision. Along with dramatically less memory and coiling, you get longer casts, more accurate delivery, unrivaled toughness, all with the absolute stealth you expect from fluorocarbon. The world has never seen anything like it, and the fish never will. Gin Clear, from the world leaders in the science of catching fish at Berkeley Labs.
What's up, Jay Barnucz? Nice to have you along with us tonight.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
After that, I have to say, I love Coop. He's such a great kid. I love his family. Like, there's nothing about the Gallant family that I don't love. But there's a kid, who has grown up through the ranks, has certainly seen the great side of tournament fishing. Obviously, is dealing with the dark side, if you will, where you get into those ruts, you get into those valleys, and as he mentioned, you just got to fish your way out. But the fact that as an athlete, you don't really like to show that you're getting beaten or you're being defeated. Yeah. And he's been so candid, been so open about it, almost to the point where it was like, holy smokes, man. Like, I think he's embraced it better than any of us have. And to hear him speak about how he's going to, carry on for the rest of the year, what he's going to be focused on, I tell you, I become more and more a fan every time he opens his mouth.
Scotty, I think you and I have both coached sports, right? And one thing I learned from coaching sports, especially minor sports, is, and I played rugby until my mid-20s at pretty high levels, and so I've seen the hotheads at all levels, and the ones who can't take criticism, the ones who can't take losing. There's always winners and losers, man. You have to take it in stride. And I think what I'm saying is that the way Cooper's handling himself, and he's entitled to be frustrated, and I think the way the maturity level of that young man is impressive.
Amen.
Right? Like,
Amen.
I think I first met Cooper around the time I first met Coop was like 2015, 2016. So it's been 10 years. So, he's in his mid-20s now. I met him when he was in his mid-teens, when him and Danny were really fishing a lot together. And man, and he's on the world's biggest stage for bass fishing right now. And to be able to continue to be himself, to be humble and kind. And, dude, he even gave a shout out to me when he signed off. Like, he remembers everybody. Like, when Trevor was going down to Georgia last year, Trevor messaged Cooper and Danny for help when Trevor was looking for a boat captain. And Cooper, like, we didn't end up using Cooper as helper, but Cooper got on and it was like, yeah, man, what do you need? Let me help you. Like, he's just a gracious star in the sport. And he's touched a lot of lives, and he's such a young guy, man. Like,
and that's the thing. That's the thing that, I look at him, and I know I can say this now that he's gone. I look at him like he's 16 years old, and I know he's not. I know. I mean, obviously, we all know that he's not. But I look at him like he's 16 years old. And to your point about coaching, you get if he's your top goal scorer, right? He's the one that got you through the regular season. He scored all your goals, some big goals, big games. And all of a sudden you're in the playoffs and you're struggling and you can't get any offense. I don't know about you, Jay, but based on his mindset, how he's dealt with this adversity, I'm throwing that kid on every chance I get, every single chance, because his mindset is in the right place, that something good is going to happen. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, it's again, I don't know what to say about him, man. He's just an awesome human being, and good things will come to him. Good things will come to him, and they already have. Never mind, but we're just seeing the start of this, and you know what? All of these bass fishing stars that we all love and love to follow, they all go through these struggles, man. And Cooper's just taking his turn. This is going to happen, and he's going to get better from it. That's what it means.
And I will say this might come as a bit of a surprise, but I'm not a tournament angler, and everybody knows that. But I'm infatuated. I'm just amazed at tournament angling. It's such a draw for me, and it's not something that I have any desire to do, but it's situations exactly like we're talking about right now that intrigues me. This is what intrigues me. It's not those who win. It's great to see, the Kevin Van Dam stay on top like they do, and how they did that. I have no idea, but only Kevin can tell that story. I couldn't. But how you deal with adversity. We talked about it in the playoffs when Montreal lost in the 6th game, and Martin St. Louis said, "You know what? It's okay. They had to lose that game to build character. It can't be handed to us. Unfortunately, these kids are just too young. They got to go through a little of adversity, and how they deal with that is what's going to make them champions, and that's part of their journey." And you almost feel like that's kind of the same thing. Like, Coop had a great run. And as I said, now he's just going through a little bit of adversity. He's got to find his way out. He's got to fish his way out. But this is what is going to endear him to his fans even more, sponsors and everybody else. If he is able to get out of this rut and persevere, my Lord, what a story that's going to be.
Yeah, I agree, man. Incredible. So it's, and we root for him all the time. I know that I'm sure tonight, if any of my family is on here, they love Cooper, always have. He's just he reminds me, maybe this is a little bit weird, but he reminds me of Ernie Clement on the Blue Jays right now. And maybe it's Ernie reminds me of Cooper. I don't know which way that goes. Like, you look at, he's sneaky good. He's got a name for himself, right? And you just don't know when he's going to get his next big one, but his hits usually hit well. You know what I mean? So awesome. I'm a big fan of Ernie Clement, and I don't know, maybe Cooper's Ernie or Ernie's Cooper. I don't know. So there you go. I'm just throwing that out there for our
I love the comparison. Bravo on the comparison. You nailed it with that. I'm a huge fan. I love Ernie. And it started after last year, where they didn't want to leave the dressing room, right? They lost, and they didn't want to leave the dressing room because they're such a tight-knit group. And, Ernie, you can tell he'd been crying. He was very emotional. But he's just such a fun person to be around, and always positive. And anyway, we could go on and on about this subject. But do we have to congratulate Trevor on 2026 Tri-Nation Zimbabwe?
Guys,
what's going on here?
So it's finally out there. So Trevor and a select few of great high school anglers from Ontario Bass Nation have been selected to fish to represent Canada in Zimbabwe in December. So this is huge. This is a huge event. Anthony Dubé, who is the Ontario Bass Nation youth director, Anthony is from Zimbabwe, and he's been dreaming about putting this challenged, and I'm going to call it Tri-Nations, and I call it Tri-Nations because if there's any rugby fans online, there used to be the famous Tri-Nations tournament, which was South Africa, New Zealand, and Australia. And the 3 nations battled it out. There's 6 nations, which is more the France, England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland. But let's talk about the Tri-Nations. So this event is going to be a contest between 3 different nations in Africa, but one of those nations is Canada, Zimbabwe and South Africa, I believe, and Canada. And so this group of young anglers are traveling to Zimbabwe in December Stay tuned because they are having fundraising. They are selling one of the first fundraising things they're doing is they're selling pepperettes, and there'll be some online ordering happening. So any pepperette lovers out there, you got to order some pepperettes to support these kids. And so please stay tuned. I will share updates as it comes through. It's an expensive trip. It's going to cost a few $1,000s for each angler to go. Most of that's the flight, and I'm sure between now and December you'll hear a lot about it, and we'll have some of these anglers on here, and it's just an incredible opportunity. And big shout out to Anthony Dubé for making this happen. He's wanted to make this happen for a few years. He's talked to me about it, so this is fantastic. Yeah, so this is huge. So and you guys remember I'll drop a couple names like Tristan, who went to Georgia last year with Trevor. He's going. Oh my gosh! You know what? I'm just gonna open this up.
Holy smokes!
Yeah.
What an opportunity this is!
Yeah, this is wild. This is wild. Let's see if this will actually open up here. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so we have we got Tristan, and then of course Trevor. And where is that Facebook post? Oh my God, there's oh, there it is. There it is. Is that it? Oh, I don't want to lose it. It must be on Facebook. Hopefully someone in the chat out there, you're the CFN wonders that be, will share that. And
holy smokes!
I just wasn't prepared to talk about it tonight, but I should have been, because that just came about in the past week. But I've known about this for a few weeks now, so this has been like not old news, but we've been preparing mentally for this. Like as Trevor's parents, Heather and I have been like I'm probably not going to go. It's hard for me to justify that kind of money to travel just to be a coach on the shore. Trevor's 19 years old, or he will be when that happens. I'm not worried about him. Like the kid's a good stick, and he's going to be with good company. So I'm not saying I wouldn't love to go to Africa, but I think this is something that he does on his own. Like I think he's ready to do it. So yeah, George, we'll put you on the list, buddy, for sure. Absolutely.
Is that one of the gentlemen, one of the anglers, Breslin Naden? Yeah.
It is. So I gotta find it. Facebook.
Good for you, Eve. Good job, Eve. Nice work, pal.
Yeah, thanks for doing that. So, but yeah, so and like, dude, there's things about hippopotamuses you gotta watch out for.
Yeah.
There's some some crazy stuff.
Snakes, lots of snakes.
They're on one of the biggest reservoirs in Zimbabwe, and there's lots of things happening. Okay, so who do we have here? We got Tristan. I found it. Trevor. Yeah, Ryan Sakusa from York Bassmasters. Radu from Saga City is going. Phoenix from Kawartha. Nolan Isaac, who is a good friend of Trevor's from St. Catharines, is going.
Yeah.
Logan Carmichael, another Kawartha club member. Kate Latte from Erie as well. Justin Johnson from Petawawa. And Cole Hortichuk from Petawawa. And Kayla McLean from Kawartha. And Braylon Young, who's with Ottawa Valley South Bassmasters. But Braylon was really successful in the St. Catharines Youth Bassmasters for a while. So yeah, there's basically, and now there was a bit of a qualification system. I don't want to, basically you can imagine how hard these things are to figure out who's going to go, Scotty. And so what they wanted to do was Anthony really wanted to, because he had to make a decision pretty fast. He really wanted to make sure that, basically he handpicked the team, but he did it in he consulted with me a little bit about it. He wanted to look at people's finishes, who's gone on to championships, runner-ups, all that kind of stuff. I think it was done really well. I have to honestly say it was done really well. And I'm very proud of Anthony for keeping it transparent, if that makes sense, Scotty.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, of course, that becomes the quick criticism: is how did these kids qualify? How did how did my kid not make the team or make the cut or whatever? But as long as you're transparent, good on them for doing that. But needless to say, regardless of any of that, what an opportunity, what an experience this is going to be for these kids. Holy smokes!
Yeah.
Now, are you excited or are you a little jealous that you didn't get an opportunity to do this, Jay?
Both, man. Both. Like I man, like, so listening to Jim talk and others talk, like I've been following bass fishing since I was in my teens, like watching TNN Outdoors. I fished in some tournaments in university. I've had a lot of great opportunities with bass fishing and just fishing in general. And I have a cool job. Like, I like my job. It keeps me out doing stuff. And I think that I just keep joking, and I kind of say this in a little bit of sarcasm, but also happiness. Trevor's living his best life right now.
That's awesome.
Like, he's got a summer job working with M&R on Lake Erie, doing stuff I've never done, working on big boats, helping with trawls, big gill nets, like stuff, like big water work that his dad's never done. He's running around, like doing all this. He's working trade shows and stuff, which I've done for a while, but not when I was his age. And he's just living his best summer, his best life right now. So it's just, as a parent, you can't help but be happy for him, right? So
it's so true. And again, I digress only for a second, but when my kids would succeed, and the accolades, the trophies, everything that we've ever earned as athletes ourselves means nothing. You could throw it in a dumpster. It would mean nothing compared to watching your kids succeed. Watching your kids succeed at a sport that they love, there is nothing better in the world.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Agreed. And I think just having them succeed at anything in life that they've set their mind to. They have a goal. They want to be, like, maybe it's not fishing or a sport. Maybe it's they want to be a teacher or a doctor or a lawyer, whatever they want to do. And they set their mind to it, and they're successful at it, and they're good at it. And that's what all these kids have shown themselves. And I really, not a lot of people know Anthony and how he's going to captain or coach these kids. He is just a kind-hearted human, and I think he's a great judge of character, Anthony. And I think he did his best picking this team. And it also had to be who was available to go. It's not a cheap trip. Like, this is something everyone has to be involved with. And he had to have letters of, like, he had the angler sign letters of
intent.
That's it. Thank you. That's it. Exactly. And like, cause we have 6 months, less than 6 months to raise this money. Right. And all the anglers are going to be on the hook for the money. But if we can raise money to offset that, then that's going to be a huge help to those anglers. So I'll keep everyone updated in the next few weeks as things come through. But it's
please do, because CFN would love to help out in any way that we possibly can. Because as I said, watching Trevor grow, like we have Cooper, the sky's the limit to where this is all going to end up. Who knows?
Yeah. And actually, I see my mother-in-law Bev is on the show tonight. So proud of all these anglers. Like, Bev was. We actually just had a great weekend. Hanging out, not fishing at all. Actually, that's not true. There was some fishing involved, but I'll explain that. Heather's brother lives in Bowmanville. Rick and Angela hosted us this weekend. Back during COVID, when we all couldn't get together regularly, we had a big party at Rick's house, and we called it the Everything Party. We celebrated a bunch of birthdays, Father's Day, because we couldn't do it regularly. Do you know what I mean? So every July, we still have the Everything Party at Rick's in Bowmanville. And so Bev was there, Art was there, our nephews. Trevor brought his girlfriend, Lindsay. She's great. And anyways, but as much as that was a good party, and it was a good time. Went golfing, dude. I did my annual golf day yesterday. One day a year, I golf with the Surettes.
Wow.
It's amazing how good I am just with a 7-iron, just all day. Like, I don't go to the wood. I just chip that putt. I just chip that ball about 100 yards at a time. And it's straight, and it goes right down the fairway. And dude,
I have to say this, Jay. It gets awkward when I lay down on the green and I'm using it as a pool cue.
Like I can honestly throw the ball further than I can hit the damn thing with a club. So but we had a great time golfing yesterday. It was a lot of fun. But it was hard to get back to work this morning. But there was some fishing involved in a way, and we're going to talk about it.
Go ahead.
On the way there, if we're going to Bowmanville, there's a place I always stop on the way to Bowmanville. It's Gagnon's.
Yeah.
Gagnon's. I love Gagnon's. I've been shopping at Gagnon's since university. I worked down the street from Gagnon's at one point when I was working at Cloca. They always have the new stuff. They always have a great supply of things. And I did some shopping at Gagnon's on the weekend. So these are I don't even know what ones these are. These aren't Berkeley's. These are another brand. I just wanted to try, and Cooper hit it on the head. How do you rig these damn things? Like, it's one thing buying them, but how do you rig them, right? And so I don't have any quad hooks yet, and I've read about those. I'm going to try those, but there's about 40 ways to rig these things, man. So I actually, here's what I did. I'm at Gagnon's. I bought another Plano box. I put a bunch of stuff in here. Like, this is my new Dice Urchin box. So, and let me show you what I did. So, and I waited to tonight. I knew you and Jim would shoot the breeze, and I was listening to Cooper talk, and I was actually stabbing myself with hooks trying to rig urchin baits. So I want to show you what I did. And I read about, now these aren't my own ideas. I watched some YouTube recently, and I was trying to think about productive ways. And these are big baits. Like this one here, that's a 17 millimeter, it's called. Kind of, no, that's a 20. That's a 20 millimeters. This is kind of like the average size. Okay, they have smaller ones. This is kind of an average size. And then you'll hear the Koike version. They have a 25 millimeter. This is the big one. This is like a great, like, that's the size of my hand. Like, it's a big bait. So what I did, and I'm going to show you guys this. So this is a frog hook. Can you guys see that?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So I just took, everyone's got a couple old frogs laying around that are kind of, the tails are kind of beat up. So I took a frog hook and I threaded it through that bait. You see that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then to get some weight, remember they're elastomers, so they're very light. They're very buoyant, which is, you don't want them to be buoyant. You want them to sink. And this was, I'm going to give full credit to Jason Christie. Now, there's others who have done it this way, but I watched the Jason Christie video. So that, to weight it, I have a drop shot weight. Now, this is a tie-on drop shot weight, and it's on a split ring, a big split ring. You see that?
Yeah.
It won't come off. You cannot pull that off. Like so you can't slide it either way. And I'm going to tell you, you're not pulling this hook out very easily. But what's nice is that if a fish gets on there, this will slide up your line if you want.
Gotcha.
The trouble with this setup, the only trouble is you have to fish this on a heavy rod. Mm-hmm. At minimum, you're going to be throwing a 7.3, 7.4 medium heavy. Mm-hmm. Minimum. Probably fluorocarbon. So, but I'll probably start with like 17 pound or 20 pound fluorocarbon for that setup. I wouldn't go any lighter than that. Now, this one I tried a couple different things. I actually tried a couple different things. So I played around. I tried to do the same thing with the frog hook. See that? That's a treble. Yeah. That's just a treble hook. Yeah. And I cut the one treble off, and I was able to thread. This is the wire that it came with. Okay.
Yeah.
And I was able to thread that treble through like I did on that frog hook, but it just wasn't enough open to get a good bite. Okay. Right. So, but I actually have these are Ryugi wacky hooks. That's a 3/0 though. So most wacky hooks or a Ned hook, that's a wide gap. Most are around 1/0 to 2/0. That's a 3/0. much bigger than I would normally ever use. And I don't have it through the middle of the ball. I kind of have it, it's a little more than skin hooked, but just in there. And it, dude, that's not coming out. I think what I want to do is I'm probably going to put maybe like a bobber stop or something on the shank of that hook to keep it from sliding through. But I don't think it'll come out. I think if a fish gets on their peg, that I'm not going to lose that bait.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I do like I like the wire guard. Like I do find that like that's a lot of hook exposed. Like I think these tentacles will help keep it out of cover, but it's not like a heavy cover bait. You're not going to throw that into like lily pads and stuff. Like I think that's going to be to docks and laydowns, but you're going to have to watch yourself because that's going to get hung up, right? So I kind of like this one with the big wacky hook. Now, what I don't have, and I do have some at home, you can buy a wacky hook like that that's weighted with a little bit of lead on the shank. So I might play with that, or I might even just get some lead wrap that I have at home and just wrap some lead on the shank of that hook just to get a little bit of a fall, right? So
there is another product. Actually, we played the video that Pow and Dominate Baits teamed up, and Pow has come out with it. It's basically a corkscrew. He calls it the wacky rig, and you're able to spin it right into the plastic. And I've been playing around with it just with the wacky alone, and I'm stunned at how strong it holds. Like it puts up with a good arse kicking, which is
what's funny about and I think I was thinking about that too, because I have some of these. Like I have some of the, you'll hear guys call them, these are, I'll show you the bigger ones because they're easier to see on the camera, but like the big hitchhikers, right?
Yes, exactly.
The thing about these though is, and it's okay, but damn, it's hard to get anything in these baits. That polymer is so stiff. Like I'm trying to shove Nico weights into it, and I don't know how guys are shoving, if they're heating them up first and shoving them in. So good tip, George, good tip. So yeah, so anyways, I picked up a few of these. I wanted to give them a try. I don't even, dude, I've been so busy at work, I haven't even been to a tackle shop much, right? So I did stop and visit Cole and the boys at Angling Sports last week and grabbed a few things, but when I saw Gagnon's, and Trevor was quite happy they had the full-size ones because that's what he's been looking for. So I'm like, let's give it a shot. We actually have we actually have a guy that used to be a local reporter, still does writing, and he's been trying to get out bass fishing with us for a couple of years, and we might make that happen this weekend. So he wants us to take him and potentially his grandson out, Trevor and I. He just wants to do a little write-up on his social media page about bass fishing in Norfolk, and I'm like, Trevor, let's make it happen, bud. Let's just take this guy fishing and have some fun. So I'm hoping that we get to throw these this weekend and help them catch some bass too. But I think this one here, I think this one on that setup, I could throw that on a medium heavy spinning rod if I wanted to, but it might be better on a bait caster. But I think on that hook, a spinning rod, but like I'm talking medium heavy, probably 20-pound braid, it'll do a job. The other size I don't have here is a 13 millimeter, and on a drop shot, that's going to be it's going to be nice. And you still need a bit of a wide gap hook though. So I'm probably going to use a similar hook shape to this one.
Yeah.
Because a typical drop shot hook is going to be too narrow of a gap for that. Even if, because you want to do a little more than skin hook it, because dang, I don't want to lose that thing. That's that's $12.
I know.
And that's a cheap one.
It is so true. You know where I'm really interested to see how well they do is in Zimbabwe. Can you imagine tossing that in Zimbabwe?
Yeah.
Like finally, it is actually part of the forage base. That is the food chain, something like that.
Yeah.
Zimbabwe, with everything that falls out of the trees. Holy crap. I mean, there's nothing the fish isn't going to jump on. But speaking of bass, there was something that Richard shared with us, and it was mentioned on the Lake Simcoe fishing. I think it's the Lake Simcoe Fishing and Area Board. I'm going to share my screen so that we can read a little bit more about what was said. And it's interesting. It's all about the release of bass after tournaments. Where do they go?
Yep.
How far do they go? Are they swimming back to their home waters? What is the deal? Well, what we have now is some results of some study that has been done.
Okay.
And tracking studies show that smallmouth bass released after tournaments often leave weigh-in sites within days, but it can take weeks or even months for them to return to their home waters. Some stay near release zones for a while, creating temporary stockpiles before dispersing. The standard protocol based on tournament bass practices and CSFL's own published procedures is to use a dedicated release boat to return fish back into the open water. So it goes on in terms of the tagging and what they did to identify how far they would go. But what's really interesting is you get to the bottom, is catch, weight, release the way to go to keep fish closer to their natural habitats? And it's interesting. If you get down into the comments of this post, there's quite a few anglers and notable anglers that say, you know what? I think it is best that we do, like there's this, like Kevin Fox says, all the kayak terms are using bump boards, immediate release after. I think this is something that would be a good change to fishing. And there's quite a few others that say the other. Stephen Cook jumps in here, and there's some incredible comments. I think they're more intriguing than the article itself. But I have to say, Jay, with the aura that a weigh-in provides, do you see in the very near future a possibility where everything goes catch, photo, release? Or do you think there are going to be certain situations that will allow a weigh-in?
So I think that we'll never go full catch and release with photos. It won't happen. But I think I think it's gonna take a more precedence. It's gonna be more common in tournaments. And George is correct. That post was AI generated. But what I like about that post though is that it raises questions.
Exactly.
Right? And I think it created, and I agree, George, some of those AI posts are like out there. But I like that. I don't mind that one because I think it raises questions and it gets people talking and about a topic that can be a little controversial. And especially when we get talking about tournament series are people's livelihoods. And I'm not just talking about the anglers, I'm talking about the organizers, like those that run the tournament series. It's part of their livelihood. So if we go to catch, photo, release, we're not taking out the middleman, but we're kind of taking that away a little bit, right? So, but I think that's where organizations are headed. Not all, but some. There's more of a place for it. And I think that as fisheries get more pressure, that we are going to see potentially look like in states like Michigan where you have to get permits to have a tournament. And now why is that? They're not trying to really regulate it too much. They just want to make sure that we're not having too many events on certain bodies of water.
Right.
Maybe at certain times of the year, right? And I think I could see that there's some value to that. There is value to that. So I think that we're going to see, and I think with catch, photo, release, we might see more flexibility in when we have tournaments in terms of where and when we have them. So, and I hope that down the road, we actually start to see more seasons opening because we're willing to embrace catch, photo technology as opposed to having to rely just on seasons. So we'll see.
And you went right where I went when I first read that. And George, you're 100% right. As it was AI generated, whole reason I mentioned it and it was brought to my attention was simply because of the conversation that was generated from it and some great discussion. But with that, I immediately thought of our American anglers. And you have bodies of water down there that have club tournaments, big tournaments, all kinds of tournaments actually happening on the same weekend. Never mind, multiple weekends in chronological order. with that being said, of course, there's a lot of stress, and I think a lot of anglers would agree that we are putting a little bit of stress, especially on the American side, to some of these fish, and that perhaps maybe this is the road to go. I know MLF certainly adopted it, and we are starting to see a little bit of a trend towards the management of the fisheries, as opposed to just making sure we're promoting the heck out of them. I didn't think about Canadians so much. I mean, yes, we do have some pressured lakes anywhere, in the Kawarthas. They'll tell you how pressured those fish are. But I don't know. It scratches the head, and the kayak anglers, the CFN fish off. It's all about catch, photo, and release. But just the fact that we're talking about it, and the fish off's been going on for 12 years now, that we're talking about this on a tournament level, just goes to show that our minds and our beliefs and our thoughts are in the right place.
And look at George's final comment, and I believe this. Like, I think that we are at a point, we're kind of at a bit of a turning point in the road when it comes to bass management in Ontario, and I think that Nipissing's, so that when that zone opened up for May long weekend to take pressure off of, one of the reasons was to take pressure off of walleye. It also provides more angling opportunities for anglers, so that, let's face it, man, with climate change and such, we're getting warmer springs. Our boating season is getting longer, but our fishing season is staying the same length, right? So having more opportunities for angling is great. And I think that if we have the science to support that we have stronger bass populations, let's provide more angling opportunities. One could be for more harvest, for sure, but even just having catch and release seasons, as long as anglers are taking care of their catch. I know that there's always circumstances where things happen, and that can be ironed out, but we haven't really had those discussions yet, and I hope they happen. I hope that we can start to see more opportunities, especially in the spring, when we are very concerned about the impacts to populations during the spawn. But boy, that's where we need help. Like, let's be honest, Scotty, we don't see a lot of anglers fishing like past Thanksgiving, really.
Yeah.
Like, I think once Thanksgiving weekend, well, actually, I know for a fact, once Labor Day comes, and I know this, knowing a lot of my marina operator friends, once Labor Day comes, the whole boating industry just starts to nosedive in Ontario. And by Thanksgiving, it's done. Like 90% of it's done. And so the fall is not the time to, and we have a lot of fall fishing right through to like late October into November, depending on the zone. What we need is more angling opportunities in the spring. And we need to see that happen. And hopefully over time, we can start to see those opportunities happen. And for zones that are more accessible to people, right? Maybe not just in the north, but also in the south. So
great point. 100%.
Yeah,
great
man.
Point.
Hopefully,
you had a couple things. First and foremost, are you back in the same place that you were last week when we spoke to you, or are you in a different?
No, man. I'm in Chatham this week. I haven't been in Chatham in I haven't been here since 2023, 2022. So had a reunion tonight with the girls at the front desk. They're like, hey, we haven't seen you in years. And because I used to come here every week for months, every year. So I'm in Chatham, and dude, it is hot.
Yes.
Yes. It's still saying on my outside, it's still saying it's 27 without the Humidex outside. So it is stinking hot. Now we're in a creek where it's shaded, but definitely I'm feeling my age a little bit today. We're out there until about 4:00. We started our day around 10. We had to drive down from Burlington. Tomorrow's going to be the test. We're starting our day at 7, and I probably won't work past 3:00 tomorrow. I found today at about 3:00 was when the heat got the most, where it's like, you got to look after your crew, man. You know how this goes, and I worry that sometimes, so I'm working with students, and not everyone's used to working in the heat. Like I don't mind the heat, because the heat only lasts for so long, man. We're gonna be back to winter any day now, it seems like. That's honestly how I look at it. So the heat's fine. but I know that we need to just take it easy in the heat. So probably we'll start our day tomorrow around 7, and I'll probably by 3 o'clock I'll be wrapping it up tomorrow. No, I doubt any overtime tomorrow will happen because of the heat. So, and it doesn't look like we're gonna have any not much reprieve on Wednesday or Thursday. So, but I got a lot of ground to cover tomorrow, so I want to get as much done as we can. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, we share your resilience. I will say this, Joe and I, we used to be colleagues, and Joe, I have to say, and I know you can say this, how we got through some of those summers working like we did, and that was back when, not to take away any construction workers now, but we worked like mules back then, and the fact.
And dude, you guys are working in urban areas. Like at least I'm out in the farmland, and I'm in a creek. Now the creek is hot. The creek is like 30 degrees, but at least I'm in waders in a creek. Like, I'm not saying it's pleasant, but I noticed the difference. Like when I get back to the hotel, and I'm on the asphalt unloading my stuff into my room, I think about, dude, there was a crew last week paving a road.
Yeah.
And I said to Trevor, I'm like, good Lord. This was on the Friday after Canada Day. So that it was still like the temperature was 30 degrees before the Humidex. And they're putting asphalt down on the road. Yeah. Like my heart went out to them, man. I'm in smelly, like the joke today was everyone thought their waders leaked today. Waders weren't leaking. Like my clothes are like sliding off me inside my waders. Like I had to stop at one point and give the belt a good little cinch down, because either I was getting skinnier as I was talking, or I think everything was so wet inside, it just like peeling a banana is just sliding right off me. Right? So, yeah.
Joe, great point about the welders. Yeah, those poor welders who had to dress up in all kinds of clothes to do what they did.
There's a welding crew out here. I'm not sure where they're from. There's the Comfort in here is always full of welders. It's hydro guys, union gas guys. It's the usual suspects. And there's a crew of welders out here, and they look rough, dude. And I'm not talking about like they're not like rough and tumble. They've had a long day. They had a long day.
Yeah. We'd be getting a little angry at this point if we were still working out that. Hey, Joe. We'd have a few things to say, especially without a cold bevy in our hand.
Grievance.
Yeah, exactly. Did we get to everything that you wanted to discuss? Because I know.
Yeah, dude, we got it. No, that was great, man. Right, that was great. I really didn't have much. It was kind of a bit of a whirlwind the last 24 hours with travel and stuff, but made it here. So I'm glad I was able to hop on today. I was glad I got to see Coop. That was great. Yeah. So, I'm glad I got to show. And hey, thanks for George and others. Thanks for chiming in about the chat. Like I'm learning about this stuff as much as everyone else is about these baits. Even listen to Cooper talk. Cooper's in the mix of it, and he's still figuring it out, right? And I know Cooper's a tinkerer. I know he's a very technical angler. So to hear that he's still figuring out, I don't feel that bad about being behind the 8 ball on this. So I think we just have to figure it out together. And I will put some time in with these baits the next few weeks trying to figure them out, and I'll share what I find. So I expect my son will figure it out before I will, and then I'll just do what he does, but that's just easier, right? So yeah, I will send Pepperette ordering info as soon as I have it from Trevor. I will send it out to as many people as I can, and that'd be awesome. And all the money goes right. Like I'm not sure what the cost is, but this was one of Anthony's fundraising ideas, and it's going to go directly to the team, supporting the team to go over to Africa. So huge announcement, huge journey, and some huge stories are going to come out of that. That's going to be absolutely awesome. In the meantime, Jay, stay cool, stay safe. Oh, we're going to do my question. I got a question.
Oh, right. Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, we're going to keep it easy. What country is Trevor and his teammates going to? We'll just keep it easy.
Boom. And congratulations to Sarah Watson last week for winning. George was the previous winner that we haven't announced. We'll make sure that we announce this so that when we see the answer, and it's not going to take long for it to pop up for those who are still here. But congratulations to both George Morgan and, of course, Sarah Watson for getting it right in subsequent weeks. But we'll wait.
You got to try and convince Trevor to not spend his tuition money on swim baits for Zimbabwe. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm gonna say. It's been a time. It has been a time. So, Scotty, thanks, buddy. It's been a blast, and I will talk to you. I'll talk to you soon. We chat.
Absolutely. You stay safe, okay? Stay safe out there, pal. Right on.
Appreciate that.
All right, and there we go. We have our first winner. Honored to say that Steve Shaw just answered. So last 3 winners are George Morgan, Sarah Watson, and Steve Shaw. Fantastic stuff. With that being said, of course, thanks for all those who are mentioning it. That's awesome that you guys are putting answers still up there. But in the meantime, folks, it is an honor to be here every Monday. We get a chance to talk to the illustrious and Hall of Fame winner, Big Jim McLaughlin, of course, Lawrence, who we've missed the last couple of weeks because he's busy doing things that are going to improve our experience on the waters, and especially bring a little bit of, I want to say, a different experience for young anglers that maybe don't know a lot about the outdoors. His research center is going to be something that I cannot wait to promote here on CFN because it's going to enlighten a lot of young anglers, a lot of young people to the outdoors. But in the meantime, as I said to Jay, all the hard work he's doing, it's great to hear good things happening with the Barnucz family. Good things happen to good people. And that's why I will say this last. Coop's going to do well his next tournament simply because his perseverance, dedication, and just all-around dedication to his sport is certainly something to sit back and admire. So we wish him all the well. We will be here tomorrow for Tourney Tuesday. Mike Consul will be joining me. We will be giving out the remainder of the Compre Conquer All challenge prizes. Look forward to that. But in the meantime, you have yourselves a great week and a great Monday night, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Dave, it's time to take us away. Love you all. Peace.
Well, as much as I hate to admit it, I guess we've run out of time. So I've enjoyed it, but I'm going to do something I haven't done since season 1. Turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end.